I don't know if y'all do this on your YouTube show. I chew gum.
Yeah.
I'm rude. Sorry.
Hey,
I'm
man.
Jared, by the way.
I'm Josh.
But it's on your YouTube show. Do you always start talking and realize you should have hit record like 10 minutes ago?
Every single episode of this ever. And so I will save it for the show. And then proceed to discuss it for 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, one day I'll get brave and start recording in the car and anywhere and everywhere and just make movies. But yeah, it might be self-indulgent for me. Y'all might not like that, but I don't care.
Fly on the wall wants to know everything about me.
That's kind of how most of this, most of the videos on this channel started. Me thinking, well, hey, before you can create, you imitate, and I'm still in the imitating phase. But anyway, it's like seeing people do stuff on YouTube. Think, I could do that. There's some people you watch like, I can't do that, but I can do this.
Yeah, there's some really talented folks that.
So why go there?
Yeah, for real. Go do this.
But just sitting around shooting the proverbial shit. It's kind of like what we've done, and the whole reason that we just sit around and talk anyway. So
it's the truth, man.
Kind of, y'all. What I'm saying is, y'all really miss out. If y'all think this is cool, y'all need to just come hang out.
Yeah, for real, man. Just come on down. It'll be cool, man.
Y'all can have some gum too.
That's right, man.
Pass
Hey,
around.
we've already established a house rule that gum on camera. Hey, okay.
Don't bother me. This
what
ain't CBS, CNN.
For real, ain't got no standards, man. Ain't got nobody standing over us ticking a damn box.
At least it's not the Ric Flair shoot from Hot Spots a few years ago.
Oh, Lord help you, man.
Every couple minutes.
You took care of it.
I got into that habit for a little while.
But not on camera.
No,
different. It's different.
Never,
y'all.
Never live and in person. But I found a product called Snus.
Yes, sir.
And learned about it on YouTube.
Hey.
There's a channel. I'm pretty sure the videos still exist. It's called Neuro Soup. This like smoking hot chick that will talk about psychedelics when the salvia craze was out there, and I tried that and I was like, I don't get it. Maybe I'm just doing this wrong. But she got like some. I guess her channel was that popular that I guess it was Camel or maybe Marlboro or somebody sent her some samples of this product that she's like, I don't think this is what she was into. She wasn't a smokeless tobacco user, but she was like, this is a product that's now out there, and not only was it smokeless, it was also spitless. And I was like, oh, you're talking to me. So I tried that out, and I was like, well, and it's the thing I'll tell you is it tastes amazing. It's awesome. But I was like, I could never get into that whole spitting thing. So anyway, I guess it's good to try stuff like that and to realize that I don't necessarily have an addictive personality. I thought I did at one time, whether it was alcohol or tobacco. I thought, man, if I get into this hardcore, I'm probably not going to kick it. But there's nothing that I've ever had to have any, every day. And that's one of the things I was like, well, sitting at a baseball game, it was awesome. And I got the understanding, and I got the connection of having something like that after a good meal.
Yeah.
After Mexican was a big one, and Shane's barbecue was a big one. Those are my two favorite meals to have, and then you have like your little pouch, but it wasn't anything I like desperately had to have. So
I can dig it, man.
But it ain't worth it. It's not fun. For what I could feel it doing, like, man, this is like gonna cause problems one of these days. And there are people out there that, I don't know why I'm getting into this, just maybe somebody needs to hear it. The good Lord put stuff on your heart, maybe somebody out there needs to hear it. There are people out there that believe that all the cancer causing agents and products like that are in the tobacco and not nicotine at all. I don't know if I believe that or not. And maybe I'll test the waters with that. But maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But At the same time, there was a product. It was Camel Snus, and it was the robust flavor. It was like the most best taste, and it's where I understood where people got their taste for Scotch.
Yeah.
That's what it tasted like to me. I wasn't a wintergreen person. I wasn't all these mint flavors and spearmints and crap like that. But it tasted like a Scotch flavor in your mouth. And on top of that, you get, because I would ask my friends that smoked, like, what does it do? What's the sensation? I know a beer buzz is quite fun. They call them a 2 beer buzz. A 2 beer buzz is a good feeling, and then after that it's just maintenance. But that's what, to me, and maybe I can't remember if I explained it on this show or not, but it's like a caffeine rush in your head, is what the sensation of robust and nicotine did to me. Is like, it wasn't like a total body high, but it was like a couple shots of espresso just in your head. So it was like a good feeling to just kind of sit there and like, dude, this is cool.
Yeah, man.
So anyway, this type of stuff that we sit around and
this is the stuff we discuss, man.
Get into, because if you can tell, there's not much going on in the world this week. I don't have anything really disgusting. I think WWE is on a mission to have the worst WrestleMania ever. The worst build up to possibly what could be some of the best matches.
Some good payoffs. It's weird to describe it that way.
It's a weird feeling.
And the reason it's weird for you to describe it that way is because it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And it totally makes sense, because it's all like, I'm not overwhelmingly excited about the show, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the 3 or 4 things that the weekend I can't wait for. We've talked about it, man. The weekend is going to be extraordinary. Between NXT and the Super Show, that's going to be unreal.
Yeah.
And then as far as WrestleMania proper, there are things on it that I'm just totally with you. It's like, man, I don't know about this build, but that's okay. I wanted to see it anyway, and I got a hunch that, like you said, you show up and you watch it, you'll be glad you did. I think Kofi and Bryan is going to be really fun. Yeah, that's going to be really fun. And then as far as like the main ticket, I keep forgetting what I was on the show. I'm weird about Randy and AJ. We've discussed this because y'all know, and we've discussed it many times. I'm not a Randy Orton guy at all, but as far as I understand it, that's one of the guys that AJ earmarked, and that's awesome. If AJ really wants to work with them, I'm glad they're going to get to do it. And hey, man, I mean, I've never seen AJ have a bad match. If AJ can do what he did with freaking Shane McMahon, then hey, this could be cool. You know, I don't know if I'm going to get into it just because he's not my guy, but I love AJ enough to where at least he finally gets to have a nice top tier opponent at WrestleMania. And
If this is what he's been wanting to do, they've made his ass earn it.
No kidding, man.
Several years.
Oh, my Lord.
You got to work, saying that you got to work with Jericho. Your first match,
put him over.
But your first match, you don't. What?
Yeah, putting him over was what, seriously?
Wait, it gets better. We're going to make you work with Shane.
Yeah, seriously, man.
And then last year, the match that everybody thought they wanted, we're going to give you, but we're not going to let you do anything that you want to do.
Yeah, you can't do anything. Yeah, seriously. You get the yellow light version of the Wrestle Kingdom rematch, and it's like, it showed.
Yeah, it was a double. We're going to put the brakes on both of these guys, Shinsuke and AJ.
I think you're right.
And if this is what he's been wanting to do, then they made his ass earn it. So
seriously,
hopefully it'll pay off. But everybody's been looking at this card. And just
this bill,
this
wrestling bill. It's been a while since we did wrestling bill. I'm excited.
And it's like everybody's kind of forgetting. Like, there's some of this stuff has got to be on the pre-show.
Yeah. Oh, totally. There's somebody's going to be 18 hours this year.
Like, I mean, and that's one reason why I don't get anybody that wants to go to this show. I mean, just watching it from the comfort of your own home with your own food and drink and toilet is way more valuable to me than being there for the show. I just couldn't sit through any of this mess.
I'm the same way, man.
Blab.
I'm good. I'm good with the. I need to know I got my good paper for my 2 toilet breaks. I believe I've got 2 toilet breaks scheduled, man. I know that Shane and Miz, man, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do some serious business. It's gonna be fantastic.
I'm kind of hoping that maybe, and I know this is a long shot, and you're not gonna hear this from anybody else, but I'm kind of hoping that this will be enough to piss Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin enough off to be like, you know what, F y'all, we're gonna have a good one. We're gonna have a good match.
That would be kind of fun, actually. That'd be really awesome if they went in the total opposite direction of you had Goldberg and you had Brock, and people were on them because they were leaving and the match stunk anyway. So it'd be cool if, yeah, I'm with you. I hope so. That'd be great.
Something about Kurt being in New York just makes him want to have a good match. And for the love of God, use this as an excuse to give Baron Corbin some new gear. His old gear was terrible. His new gear is even worse.
Even somehow makes you miss the old gear.
Yeah. I get covering up that disgusting belly button, but all that ink work, man, show it off.
Don't cover that mess up. That's awesome looking. I'm totally with you, man.
Do something else other than the hostess from Applebee's gear he's been wearing for the past year and a half.
Man. That's awesome.
You know, just do something else. And Mania's the perfect time to do it.
Yeah. Oh, seriously, man. Everybody likes to do like funky gear. And, yeah. I'm with you. I'd love that. That'd be awesome.
Have it be like so now this is what I'm doing from here on out.
Yeah. Seriously.
It's got to be anything's got to be better than the, general manager costume since there's not general managers anymore.
Yeah, seriously. We're going to make Baron Corbin the general manager. Whoops.
Uh-oh.
If seriously.
The battle of the general managers match. You would think that would have been the excuse to do it then, but since you do it now.
Yeah.
So maybe some good will come out of that.
Yeah, seriously, man. That's good thinking, man.
And I was as disappointed as everybody else was when that got announced, but who would have thought anybody would ever be wanting to give us Cena would be the champ.
Oh, Lord.
Do you hear yourself?
You ever thought this through, have you? Yeah, it's just one of those. Cena, if we've discussed it before, Cena has always been that. Now that kids that loved him when they were little are now old enough to be like the cruddy fans that get to yell and all that. It happens to all of them. That's why the NWO Hogan worked. Mm-hmm. Everything comes back around and it's okay. But I still don't quite understand I get it. If you're a little kid and you love John Cena, great. But you know what? At least Hulk Hogan fans have the decency to never try and tell you, Hulk's matches are good. No, they're not. Everyone knows they're not. And John Cena matches aren't good either. Whoa, him and AJ Styles. Him and who?
Oh, there you have it.
Exactly. It's like, who has AJ Styles not had amazing work with, Come on, man.
I think not only are people not realizing that some of this has to be on the pre-show, one of these women's matches has got to be on the pre-show as well. And I'm thinking they're hoping everybody will, hopefully they'll forget the women's battle royal. We already have the Andre one, which we're digging our heels in on. We're not getting rid of it. They're going to do that. Just one of these women matches have got to be on the pre-show. They can't all be on the live network feed. It's not a pay-per-view anymore. Whatever it's called.
Yes, Sports Entertainer.
Yeah, the sports entertainment simulcast.
Yeah, man. A streaming sports entertainment event.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's probably the tag teams, which suck because I love the tag teams. Tag teams always get bumped at the pre-show, and it sucks because that was my whole thing about. Yeah. I wanted the Iconics to win the belts to begin with, and then have it be like pre-show, or not pre-show, so main show WrestleMania, and I like the idea of Bayley getting her big paycheck, and hopefully she still will, but I'm with you. It's like, we've already, as far as I understand, they've done a good job of acting as though Asuka's not a thing, so that's out of the way, but yeah, it's still like, okay, you want to have the Battle Royal and the tag match and the Raw Women's match, man, Raw Women's Championship match, excuse me. It's like I'm with you. It's like I know something's getting bumped, and I hope it's not the tag team, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was.
If it doesn't go on the pre-show, it might get bumped. Period.
Yeah, and that's what I'm really
like.
Could be worse. Yeah. You're totally right, man. And that's the whole thing. Is I want big paychecks. I want them to get hooked up, man.
And they've taught us anything is the pre-show doesn't count anyway, so they can change the titles, and that never
I
happened.
didn't know. What are you talking about?
What? Do huh?
Huh? That,
Well,
huh?
and if Neville and Aries found out that if you're on the pre-show, then that cuts you out of DVD sale money, and DVD sale money's in the toilet anyway, so who cares? So hopefully, you know, that's got to get reworked, but I don't, who knows? But I'm just kind of hoping that maybe they'll be pissed off enough to go out and have a good match.
Have a good match, man. Seriously. If you guys.
Yeah, because I get people griping because it's something that we've seen before, but of his recent run, Angle I'm talking about, it's kind of makes the most sense to do.
From storyline standpoint, you're right, and I get it. We want everyone to have the Shawn Michaels Undertaker thing, where you got to have this legend come back and la-di-da. I'm with you. None of that makes any sense. And also, I mean,
it makes more sense than Batista and Triple H.
Oh God! Oh my Lord! That's my other toilet break.
I'm sorry to.
No, shoot, no. You're just. That's just. I just can't get into that. I do love the Spice Girls remix, though. We talked about how great that is. So whatever genius made the Spice Girls remix, that's on track shows up. That's fantastic. But that's enough. We got everything out of that match we were going to get. Oh shoot! I don't know what I was going to say. It doesn't really matter. But as far as
the current storyline and
with Wyatt should be Corbin. Yeah, man, it's like I don't know who you're going to bring out of retirement to wrestle Kurt Angle, and if Kurt's really hanging him up, you're supposed to go out on your back.
Yeah.
So what better way to do it than it could be better, but it could also be a lot worse. And when's the last time you saw? It's mean, but I don't care. When's the last time you saw Kurt Angle have a good match?
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be a couple of weeks or whenever. When is WrestleMania?
It's not this weekend, but the next.
Next weekend, okay. Next weekend.
The first week in April.
There we go.
Usually, it's either the last weekend in March that feeds over to the first part of April. It gets you real confused when you're trying to get tickets and stuff. But with it being, I don't know why, just my brain just can't work when there's a weekend that splits the end of the month with the start of the month. I'm like confused. Well, where am I supposed to be at what time?
What's going on?
I'm confused. The month has changed. Now everything's up.
What planet is
What
this?
am I do?
What am I doing?
Something about it being on the first weekend of the month. Okay, now it makes sense. now I know what's happening.
Yeah, for real, man.
Maybe that don't make sense to anybody else, but
it makes sense to me.
It does to me.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking like weekend stuff. I still am bummed about my tag match getting messed up on the Super Show. It's okay. They're still doing it. As far as I know, it's just not title for title. As far as I know, Okada did win the New Japan Cup, so it's Okada and Jay White 3 in the main event. I honestly don't know. I'm so bad. I don't understand like New Japan's different with their belt changes. They don't. I just don't know. So we'll see. But it's cool. I mean, it's exciting. I think that'll be a fun match. The tag match is the one I'm most living for on that show. And then we've talked about it, man. That freaking Pete and Walter. That is going to be
the jam.
I think so too, man. That's like my top number one thing for the weekend. Period. That's like yes.
And it's so weird to be this close to the show and there's still be some stuff this up in the air. Like, man, we've got to get these T-shirts printed to sell in the Superstore.
Yeah, man.
So this stuff needs to get ironed out because, I mean, that's part of what people are buying is there's like match-specific T-shirts that for some reason people are into and got to buy there. Like, we need to get this ironed out. Get these T-shirts made and printed. Man. We don't have much time.
Let's get on it, man.
Come on. How many Batista shirts do we really think we're going to sell?
Oh,
come on.
God.
But that was the match. I was like, why? After all this time, you're going to come back and having your retirement match, 2 retirement matches on the same WrestleMania, I think it's kind of a bad idea. And you're going to come back and have this match with some guy that hasn't beat you, and you're going to give him his win back. Like, if this is going to be Triple H's last match, which it won't.
Seriously.
I could see that being the reason to do it, but they've just done such a piss poor job of explaining it. Like, this is just kind of dumb.
Yeah, I think so too, man. I don't understand any of this crap at all. It's just part of it's just not my thing. I always liked Triple H. Never really. Drax is wonderful. I'm glad that Dave's got a new career, and I think that's really cool. But it just as a performer, Batista just wasn't ever my guy.
It's such an odd comparison of when he's in the movies. I dig most of the stuff he's in.
Yeah, man.
But when it comes to matches, there was a time when I was into it, but that's been a while ago.
I can dig it, man.
And was not looking to see him come back.
Oh, totally, man. It's like, who wanted this? Who was waiting? Who reacted joyously to like, yes, Batista's back finally, God! I don't think Batista didn't even react that way.
And this character he's come back as is basically like, I'm going to do what Jericho did a few years ago, just be overly quiet and just kind of, fire the handle real quick. And so, what are you doing? What are you auditioning for?
Yeah, man. What you got in the pipe there? Mm-hmm. But the one thing I did, I think it was Wrestle Talk that pointed this out, and I was like, good observation, was the little blue nose ring and just playing up all the stuff that people killed him for with Batista and all that. And I'm like, yeah, that part's cool. Having fun with that. Whenever I don't know, I enjoy stuff like that. Like we talked about with making Marvel a woman, not Captain Marvel, but Marvel. Yeah. I love stuff like that. Yeah. Like, well, you gonna complain anyway, so you know what? We're doing this, and because I want to do this, and I guess it's like, since you're gonna cry about it anyway, let me justify your tears. Marvel's a woman now, jerk. I love things like that. I do.
I thought that was really a good, and we've said it since freaking X-Men. Like, okay, the movies are their own thing.
Yeah.
The books are another, and I've forgotten that from time to time, but especially with this one, like, that's a good change.
Yeah, I think so.
Makes plenty of sense. Well, why pass this torch from any other gender, whether binary or not?
Well,
Sam Smith.
if we're making this this huge point about, well, she's a woman, so she can't fly combat. Well, it makes sense then for this top tier, over the moon, best of the best test pilot group. Hey, man, unless you're telling me that Carol's the first and only, which you weren't, obviously, because of I keep wanting to say Monica Rambeau because I think it was Maria. That's cool. But hey, man, if it's like women that you won't let fly combat, but they can fly, they're doing the test pilot stuff for the Air Force, why wouldn't it be run up by a woman? Anyway, and I'm being dumb about that. There's no reason to believe that. I just like the jerky, yeah, F you guys. Yeah. F you complain people, screw you. I think things like that are cool. I like when folks do that.
Yeah. But the thing that Wrestle Talk did, and probably a couple other videos did, I just turn off when it got to the Batista spit takes that everybody was doing. It's like, y'all, this is disgusting and gross.
Stop,
Turn this off. And it went far too long.
Yeah, that's a problem with that kind of stuff. Like we were talking about the freaking Imperial March. It's just like, man, it just shorten it up, man. Just shorten it up.
It's, this type of deal that probably won't age as well as everybody thinks it's going to. This is going to be way too gross and long.
Oh yeah, man. I can dig that.
Yeah, but we got that coming up. So it's
yeah, man.
Not so much more to look forward to that weekend.
Yeah, man. I was trying to figure out, because I got it in my head, an interesting way for the Briscoes to get the belts back, and it's like, man, you're trying too hard. This is not going to happen. Don't worry about it. But I did actually, I saw some Crockett Cup information, and this isn't a prediction. This is an expression of what I hope happens. This is where I hope we're going with this, because apparently they want to do some play-in style matches where it's like the first part of the bracket. It's not just the final four that do the Crockett Cup. You've got some preliminaries too, if you want to call them that, so guys can work their way in. I think there are 4 teams that are already in, and then you've got other matches to work your way in. So the Briscoes have a challenge match to get into the Crockett Cup proper, and they're doing it at that show, and it's really cool. And it's Jeff Cobb and what the heck's his name? North American champion. He literally looks like Mid-South Wrestling in 1973 came to life. Oh, I can't believe I forgot his dang name. I want to say Rufus Jones, but Rufus Jones was Mid-South in 1973. Yeah. Anyway, oh man, if it comes back to me, I'll say it. And if y'all know, I apologize for flubbing this. But anyway, it's these two like earth mover. Just you've seen Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb is basically when people like Braun Strowman, same thing. Just the strongest dude in the world throwing people around. Same thing. So I'm hoping that, I don't know, man, it could go either way. I could see those guys. I don't want them to kill my boys, but they might kill my boys and then make a run and win the tournament. Or even better would be if they get a little friction in the match as a tag team and then you set them up to wrestle each other. It'd be incredible. I'm like, that would be one of those dream match things we talk about all the time. So I'm like, golly, I hope that's where they're going, man. If I got to look this up in a second, I will. I'm just being ridiculous. I can't believe I forgot that. But it's cool. I'm like, I hope that's what they do. I hope that they can advance. Because my whole thing was I just want the Briscoes to kill Villain Enterprises, I guess. Because Villain Enterprises are in the tournament, so But it's just, I'm just a jerk about those guys. Well, one of those guys.
Something about this time of year, everybody has brackets.
Yeah.
They're always busted.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's like,
so early on.
Oh, totally, man. It's like, did the Crockett Cup because March Madness was going on. And I love tournaments, man. I like New Japan Cup and G1. I love that kind of stuff because it's such a good chance to completely restart any storyline you're on. And it's a great opportunity to give somebody a chance to get over. Like, if you had like a WWE Cup style tournament and you put Randy Orton in a match with like a Mustafa Ali or somebody like that that's supposed to be the plucky underdog and you get like a first round win over that guy, that's monstrous, but it doesn't hurt Randy either because it's not an ongoing thing. It's fine. It's just like you get the opportunity for the old heads to put the young whippersnappers over, but it's not like Randy's got to go out to pasture now. It's just, it's such a good way to have upsets and weird stuff. You can have champs lose. I love it.
Everybody loves tournaments except Vince.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah. Tournaments and tag teams, man. That's just stuff that does not appeal to him, man.
Yeah.
But you're right. Trips does. He had the Dusty Cup.
Yeah.
I guess they couldn't get Crockett, which makes sense. It makes sense that they would not sell them the name of that, but it's all the same thing anyway, so it's all good. Maybe one of these days we'll get us a crossover show where the winners have won. And somebody posted this thing. It was like, hey guys, bet you don't remember that Finn Balor and Samoa Joe were a tag team in NXT. And it's like, well, if you're obsessed with tag wrestling in the Dusty Rhodes tournament, they won the first one.
Yeah.
Yes, they were a tag team.
Wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, for real. They've only done it 3 times, I think.
So I mean, it's like you had the one time that WWE tries to do this cross brand tournament, we end up with Shane McMahon winning. Like, good God.
Yeah, it was a grand idea.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, that's just more of that.
I doubt that was the original plan, but wouldn't put it past them.
The fact that it was any idea and ever got greenlit is like ridiculous, man. I mean, what I'm about to say is awful, but I'm going to say it anyway, man. I mean, if the tournament final was Owen Hart and Shane McMahon on the fateful night in Owen Hart's life, Owen still should have gone over. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. That's ridiculous. But I'm a jerk when it comes to Shane. I hate that guy, so there's that. But nah,
It's the other toilet match. Excuse me.
that was the original toilet match. That's the one. That's my Imodium AD, brought to you by Kill-Pectine. I just, who cares? Oh my God! Actually, jerk that I am, I was talking about it actually on here before, man. That I do have an interest in that match because I hope it's as bad as I think it's going to be. I'm hoping it is Lawler Cole levels of terrible, so maybe people will wise up. And it's like, don't get me wrong, man. If you like The Miz, that's great. You like The Miz, but I need people to stop trying to tell me he's a good worker. It's okay if you like him. I don't like him. It's okay if I don't like him too. Yeah. So it's like, stop with his, you're cutting in a championship. Yeah, that was a thumb in the eye of Chris Jericho, and this was the first time he left. Yeah. It's like, yeah, man, they've been planning that for a long time now, man.
My bias always works in with certain guys where it's like, liking the guy personally sometimes makes me not see some of the problems that they have in the ring.
Professional, I understand that.
I think that's where my opinion of The Miz comes in. Like, he's seeing him on some of the other shows they do and some of the interviews you see him on. It's like, this is a cool dude.
Yeah,
and
man.
I've seen some of his interactions like in person with people. Like, man, this cat is a good dude, but so it makes me not see some of the flaws.
Yeah, I'm like that with Cody because Cody is definitely limited as a wrestler, and it happens.
I've seen his interactions with people, and it's just like, man, this is a hard gold kind of guy.
Yeah, oh, that kid is unreal, man. He's all those guys are like that. My favorite, actually, well, this won't surprise you a bit, is this is like just in passing because you can't miss it in that building.
Doesn't make me want to watch the Shane McMahon stuff.
Oh yeah.
But my problem with this match is knowing that it's not going to end. This won't be the end of it.
It's true.
If this was the last match for Shane's run, the last match for Triple H's run, and the last match for Kurt Angle's, but I know none of that's going to work out that way. So it's
seriously.
Like, why do this at Mania?
That's my other big concern.
It's supposed to be the end of feuds.
Yeah, for real.
Not the beginning.
Let's keep going. But yeah, this is another one of my problems as well with Triple H and Batista and Miz Shane. I just can't imagine either one of them if it's less than 20 minutes, and that is just
a travesty.
Absolutely. There is no need for that unless you're planning to book that ladies three-way as about 40 seconds because y'all I've talked about on here before how I want that to end. Now we're pushing the conspiracy theory. Oh, no, man, the Heat's legitimate. Ronda really doesn't like her. And I'm like, I would love it. Please play this off like this. Yeah. But the key is in the camera work. The key's in the camera work because as long as they are in the frame, you will never sell it as being legit.
Yeah.
No, you need to cut the feed, and I would love it. I think that'd be awesome. And it sounds stupid, but remember, all Vince McMahon is concerned about is crossover media attention, and boy, that'll get it for you.
My word, yes.
That would get it for you. So I'm like, God, that would be amazing.
You had somebody else you were going to talk about as being a good dude personally, or?
Oh, yeah, pretty much that whole crew. I mean, they're all, like, nice guys, but, like, Marty Scurll is a freaking sweet pea, man. My mom has talked to him a couple times because she just digs his work. He's the coolest guy on earth, and it sucks that I like Trash Villain Enterprises because I understand what they're doing. I mean, the contract eventually will come up.
Something to do in the meantime.
And they are going to try and hold on to him as long as they can. I, myself, would love it, to be honest with you, because if they can broker a Ring of Honor AEW deal, I would love that. I think that's the future. I think that's what they should do. By the way,
it's got to be something closer to happening than what people think.
I would think so too. We'll have to wait and see about like New Japan because I think that's still in play as well. And we'll see. I don't know if they're not crazy exclusive either, though, as far as I know, but. That's the newest like involvement or development at AEW is that for some reason I understand that they are having this match at the Super Show and it's going to be fun, but doing the belt switch already didn't make sense to me, man. But like the Young Bucks showed up at AAA, which we know they have a working relationship, and they actually beat the Lucha Brothers for the titles, so they're the AAA champs now going into the show. And I don't know, maybe I just don't understand it. Maybe somebody, it's not a bad idea. I just don't get it. But the match is going to be fun. That part's cool. And that relationship is already established. The other tentative, if you want to call it that, working relationship is freaking DDT, man. Had a video last week that was Kenny Omega, man. And because Kenny cut his teeth there. So it's like, that's a good idea, man. Keep doing it. I swear, as many different companies as can get under one banner and just trade and swap. And I love it, man. I love that kind of stuff. So I was very excited about and there, of course, it's all like, man, screw you, Kenny Omega, you're stealing our talent. And Bob, just playing it up like it's going to be a crossover battle. I hope so. That'd be great.
I've gotten into watching, there's a channel on YouTube, Hannibal TV, that records a lot of shoots with, because I think the shoot interview market has gotten to that level of like, haven't we done all these that we can do? So now we're getting into doing interviews with guys that haven't been heard from in years and years. Then there's and they got some good stuff to go watch. And then there's another channel, it's like Title Match Wrestling, I think. And they do the same thing. They did the other shoot interview that'll never go away is the guy that just got released. Shoot interviews, and they have clips up that you can watch with Enzo.
The guy that just got released. Shoot, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, man, that's still that's the hottest one that comes down the pipe.
Always.
And surprisingly enough, I think it's one of the points that Enzo made is as much as WWE has invested in talent with NXT, the thing that has to happen sooner or later is there has to be the next Vince McMahon, and is that going to be Cody? And having doing what Vince never. It's not that he didn't want to do, just didn't. Maybe his ego wouldn't let him do is work with other companies, and maybe that's going to be what is their downfall. Is them. They will be too far behind by the time that he doesn't have control anymore.
Well, it's odd to be in complete agreement with Enzo, but if you've ever seen the show before, we've had that conversation many times that the exclusivity is what has to go away. That is what WWE must get rid of, because it's one of those situations where excuse me. I thought of a good example the other day, and I can't believe I forgot what it was now, man. Anyhow, the whole notion of, well, you know, we're still doing the territories. That's our thing. Let New York be New York and do your thing. And they buy up all the TV, and then all of a sudden, Vern and Fritz want to get together and, well, by golly, we'll do super shows. And it's like, it didn't work then. It'll work now.
Yeah.
Vince doesn't own the internet, so it's like, it will work now. So it's like, you're going to have to open up and do super shows. You're going to have to, because the idea of, well, Kenny Omega's got to sign with WWE versus Kenny Omega signs to work a WrestleMania. Those are very, very different things. And the windfall of, I mean, AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, everybody wants that, but I don't think Kenny wants it enough to sign a contract for 10 years, so you get rid of that.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm hoping that's ultimately where all this is going. And as far as anybody outside of WWE working with WWE as Triple H's company, dude, you can totally, there's such a storyline there, and everyone has been clamoring for the invasion forever because it just stunk so bad. So do it again. Triple H versus Cody. Do it again.
Right.
They've been laying the seeds for that for the longest. Whether it's one of those things me and you talk about where, you know, there are movie scripts that exist that never get made. You know, the version of Endgame.
For good reasons and bad reasons.
The version of Endgame that involves Wolverine, you know, fighting Superman.
Yeah.
It exists. You know, rights be damned. Somebody wrote the script.
Yep.
So it's like all that stuff is out there. So I love things like that, because it's like, if your ultimate goal is to cross over with WWE, to cross over with NXT, put it out there, or just sow the seeds. And then if it never happens, so what? Because none of us would ever expect it to happen anyway. And then if it does happen, oh man, they were talking this junk about, you know, like when he comes out of the trance and Triple H walks in the room, hey boss. That whole thing. I love stuff like that. I'm very happy to hear. It's weird. It's hard to be happy about agreeing with a consensual penis guy. But I just, dude, we've talked about that for at least a year. We've talked about it on the show here 100 times. Like, that's what you got to be careful of. And if you would just, Kenny Omega working for WWE versus Kenny Omega working for WWE, it just, they're totally different things. And you could do that. Like, who besides WWE on planet Earth could offer a bigger stage for dream matches? So do it.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I love that idea.
And maybe you have to buy the full version of the shoot for him to. He doesn't come out and name Cody as that, because I'm doing that. But he does make the point that there has to be the next Vince McMahon, and that's the one thing that they're not putting any investment in creating. You could say they're doing it with Triple H, but I think by the time he gets that full reign, they're going to be the ones behind at that point.
It's if they don't do what I've begged them to do, which I was hoping is going on right now with go run the football league. We've talked about it, man. We've talked about TakeOver, and like pay off what TakeOver actually means, and actually mean it, and let Tripp start doing this thing, because I believe the exclusivity clause will evaporate. But like you said, if you're doing it soon, that's awesome. If you're not doing it if it happens soon, it's great. If it happens later, it's too late. I think you're right, man. I would love that. I hope to God that's where we're headed, just because the idea of anybody versus anybody at any show, come on, man.
You had this knee-jerk reaction with, we need NXT call-ups, and we're gonna bring out video packages, and we're gonna bring them up, and we're not gonna do anything with them. That didn't work. So you had another knee-jerk reaction to bring up the guys that people wanted to see in the first place. Now you're still not doing anything with them.
Yeah.
So let that be part of Triple H's. This was all part of my plan.
See,
to take over.
That's my thing
from
too.
the get-go.
Particularly my thing, and this does not work with the Ronda Rousey story at all, but that's my favorite thing about inserting Kevin Owens into the world title picture, whether they get back to that or not. You could make this work. Inserting Charlotte Flair. These are the people that Vince McMahon handpicks to put in the title picture. No, not Kofi. We're going to do Kevin Owens. Yeah, Becky, I know you want that one-on-one match, but you don't deserve it. Mm-hmm. This woman does. Mm-hmm. Kevin Owens and Charlotte Flair are pretty good pedigree at NXT, don't they?
Yeah.
I completely agree with you, man. It's like you could really, and the killer, of course, is Roman Reigns. Because Reigns was in NXT too.
Yeah.
So just this whole notion of like you really could start over, and that would be awesome. I'm with you. It's just like no, man. Just filter them in and keep having your all the time WWE folks like John Cena and Randy Orton. Yeah, have them keep beating my guys. That's fine. That's all good. And then you just get them all nice and pissed off, and it's basically Nexus, which is for you can do it all. I love the idea. I really love it. But I'm with you. If we can get wrestling without borders, it would be absolutely amazing. I hope that's where they're going. And another one of the huge things is, the exclusivity deal and the contracts and la-di-da. Well, yeah, you're still the independent contractor, though. And that's ridiculous that you can do both those things. Mm-hmm. How can they be an independent contractor where, you don't have to pay anything as far as insurance is concerned, but, book your own flights and take care of all that stuff, man. Oh, but wait a minute. How can you be independent and exclusive? It seems contradictory. And I understand. Yeah. I do not have a law degree, so that's why I don't know the answer to that question. But it's cruddy.
Because we're that powerful, and we can say what we want people with, but that's going away.
We've got the lawyers, and you don't. Yeah, mm-hmm. That's my thing too, and that's where I'm hoping that. I keep saying that my one hesitation with AEW is I just hope they don't turn into WCW, and that's exactly the point that I make. I mean, is what you just said. We can do it because we can do it. I hope that's not where they're going. Now, God knows they got the cash to do it. Lord help, man. But I'm hoping that that's not where that winds up, because we'll all just be so much happier and so much better off to where, come on, man. You kidding me? I mean, I'm very, very excited about Guerrillas of Destiny versus Briscoes. But, man, what if you got Jimmy and Jey Uso in a three-way in that? I mean, come on. People would die. That would be the coolest thing ever just because of, like, and I know there are people that don't believe me when I say this. There are people that get mad at me when I say it. But the man knows I'm right, and probably most of you guys do too. The Uso Penitentiary, the makeover the Usos got, that's Jay and Mark Briscoe, man, and for the better, because Jimmy and Jay, too many Jays in there. Jimmy and Jay, work-wise, were always fun. We talked about it forever when they were like neon and the paint and all that.
Yep. They
were the entity in professional wrestling that I could not tell you why I didn't like them more, because everything about them was awesome. I'm like, I should love this. Why don't I love this? And then they, start doing tough guy promos, and it was awesome. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's weird. I always said the character stuff doesn't matter to me, but boy, with them, I think it really made it. Obviously, it made a difference because now people really love those guys, and that's cool. So, yeah, man, just do the tough guy brother thing.
And that's one of the potential rumors with. If the Shield is indeed no more, will we finally put Roman with them? Like that would boost some ratings on SmackDown.
Yeah, that would be sweet. That little like faction would be pretty awesome.
Make that happen. Like have Seth go off and do his title run thing.
Yeah.
Dean do whatever he's gonna end up doing, and in the meantime, go do I don't know if you want to call it. Shield family or whatever they're going to call it, but something else. Put them together.
Yeah, man.
It makes sense this time.
Yeah, I love it. That sounds awesome to me, man.
Yeah, man.
Excuse me. But anyway, I'm glad to hear that. That's very, very cool that there's other folks talking about that now, because I've basically had that conversation with Cody Rhodes, and he was. Don't get me wrong. It's a mean thing to say it this way, but it's just the way to say it. He said all the stuff you have to say, but, and this is stupid to put words in people's mouths, but what I got from what the guy said was basically that it's never going to happen, not going to happen, don't think about it, it's never going to happen, but it might happen. Don't get me wrong, it's not even close to what the guy said, because he was literally everything you're supposed to say, like, nah, man, Vince, it's nah, man, they're locked down, that's just how that goes, but There was just something in it. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. Maybe it's so much wishful thinking, and I'm putting total words completely in the guy's mouth. But I'm just totally with you. I think that internet's changed a lot of stuff, man. You know, the music industry used to think they had like exclusive almighty God power too, you know, but how many times can you listen to free songs now?
Yeah.
So it's like things change, man.
Shaking it up.
Yeah, it's like we talked about, man. You got cable. Internet's not cable. It's very, very different. So I like it. It's that good stuff, man. Willie Mack is that guy's name. It finally came back to me, man. It's not Rufus Jones. It's Willie Mack. And honest to God, just think about Mid-South Wrestling, 1978 come to life. It's him. He's even got the old North American title, the one with the actual country on it.
Yeah.
And the NWA's doing it right, man. They got the old belts, and it's like, God, this is so cool.
Yeah, man. That's gonna be tight.
Yeah, man. Oh, Willie Mack versus Jeff Cobb. I'm like, I don't know. I probably just want the Briscoes to win too bad, but I'm holding out hope that they get sideways because I think a lot of people would like to see that. I would be one of them. But Willie Mack versus Jeff Cobb on an NXT show. Come on, man. Again, that's so good. All this stuff is so good because, again, if we don't have to worry about contract negotiations beyond, okay, what day? All right, what time? All right, I'll see you then.
Yeah.
It's great, man.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I don't consider this a WrestleMania prediction or show or not, but that's kind of what I'm hoping goes down.
Yeah, man. I'm totally with you, man. But I love the Roman Usos idea, man. That sounds awesome.
it's something to work towards.
Yeah.
I think it'd work.
I think so too. That's cool, man. I hadn't thought about that it's been a long time since I thought about that. So appreciate you bringing it back up because that's cool.
But that was the other bit of news that came out this week of the whole AJ Styles signing his contract.
Yeah, man.
And that's one of the things that we said earlier was I just full on believe that they just probably just put a contract down, said just put whatever number you want on it.
Yeah, I can
we'll
totally
make it happen.
I can totally believe that.
Put whatever number and days you want on it, and it's going to happen for you.
I think so. I was telling Jared, the thing I was most excited about is going back to our conversation about JR, because I said it then and I will say it again. It's great that JR got his money, but that was coded. That was a message to AJ Styles that literally, I'm pretty sure the way we said it last time, we'll try to be consistent and say it this way again, is don't let it be the money that makes you stay. Understand, money's not an issue. Yeah. If you stay because you want to. And maybe it's just me not reading too much into it, but putting what I want to be the case into it. But I am hoping that when they re-sign him with WWE, it means that this is the idea, this is the path, this is the trajectory, these are the things we want to do. Because, man, when WWE actually puts pen to paper and knows where they're going, they're still fantastic at what they do. It's just so rare they do that, they frustrate the hell out of me.
They've got too many irons in the fire to do that with every storyline.
Oh, absolutely. It's the reason that
stuff falls by the wayside.
Yeah, it's why it drives me nuts.
More stuff falls by the wayside than what they actually had plans for.
It drives me nuts that they've got like a staff of like however many writers they have, and how you don't compartmentalize that. How you don't have this guy does 205. This guy, you're doing women's matches. Yeah. This guy, you're doing okay. Batista wants to come back. Let's make that work. Just focus on this. Yeah. I think that'd be great. And I know the reason they don't want to do that is because the last time they did that, Paul Heyman took the show over. Yeah. And it's like, well, that's better than our John Cena main event, and you can't do that. And that frustrates the crap out of me. It's like, nah, man, let people go and do their own thing. And then also, it goes back to that magic thing that we talk about, or I talk about all the time because I'm a freaking broken record. Variety, man. Everyone talks about it was just your run-of-the-mill standard televised Raw or SmackDown match. There should be absolutely nothing that qualifies for the statement I just said. Nothing. You should let guys go out and do their thing. It makes me nuts, man. Like, no. You don't need garden variety. You need variety.
One of, to the writer's credit, one of the things I've heard from, it always comes from former writers because you can't really say this while you're working there. Yeah. But one of the things that happens is they defend themselves like, we do have these good storylines. We do have this stuff worked out where it isn't the reason why it feels so thrown up against the wall at the last minute, because they'll have a show written, and an hour before, like Vince, like crumple that up.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's my thing.
Like,
About,
what are we supposed to do now?
yeah, if you've got this team of writers, for the love of God, let them write.
Yeah.
If it's that big of a damn deal, if you want to be Big Mr. Papa, okay, but what can I say, man? Get your ass in the writing room.
Yeah.
Give somebody an idea. But yeah, that last minute we talked about it endlessly with the Matt Hardy, Christian Edge thing, where they just like switched up the ending just to swerve people, and it's like, boy, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I hate stuff like that. But yeah, it's like, it's not, the writer's not planning ahead. You're totally right. It ain't on. Anybody that's a professional TV writer, for God's sake, they're going to have their crap written down. But if you've got Big Johnny Eraser who can come in at the last minute and just throw things away, it's like, nah, man, it ain't you. It's Vince, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, writers. It's Vince. We know.
Because that's what it feels like going into this Mania. It's like there's only 3 of the matches that feel like there's been any kind of build for. You know, you have Lesnar and Seth, and you have the women's match.
Oh, yeah.
That's about the
Yeah.
the end of it.
And that's, I mean, I understand striking while the iron's hot, but that's part of the problem with the Becky, Ronda, Charlotte stuff is, I mean, good God, they get an hour and 45 every 3 hours, and it's like, we know they're wrestling. We know what's going to happen. It's going to be good. And now there's even pushback on that, and I get it because there's backlash on everything before you can pay anything off anymore. It's the trouble with the internet and the 24-hour news cycle now being quite literally every second of every day. You get sick of stuff, man. You get totally, even stuff that you love, you get burnt out on. So between oversaturation of that storyline, that's like, I don't know, man. I hope that we can get it over and done with and nice and paid off, because I don't know if I'm looking forward to that or not. We'll see. One time I'd have been thrilled, and as far as being the Becky Lynch mark that I am and being excited about her main eventing WrestleMania, but surely to God, I mean, they can't mess that up, because it's still like up and down over whether or not that'll be last, and I'm like, man, if y'all mess that up, I just can't imagine that anybody can mess that up.
A huge mistake to even try to put that out there.
I think so too.
Even do that.
I think so too, man.
It needs it. We're 2 weeks away.
Yeah, for real.
But it should have been promoted as such all along. But
I think so too.
You know, we can never do that. We can never let people know what's going to happen ahead of time.
Yeah, God forbid.
Yeah. So that's, I think, one of the, if they screw that up, that'll be a big black mark.
I think so too.
So I don't think they'll do that, but I thought they wouldn't do stuff like that before.
Seriously, I'm with you. I'm confident that they'll get that one right. I actually feel okay saying that, and that's a strange thing to say. And it could be that when the post-WrestleMania review show, I'm like, what a stupid thing I said a couple of weeks back.
That bullshit.
Oh, I can't believe I'm stupider than Jan Rogers. God.
It was the only build-up has been those 2 matches, and Ciampa and whoever he was going to have a match with, and that got it couldn't be helped. That got changed, but it's still going to be pretty awesome with what we're going to get.
Oh, so. I know I'm the only person on earth that would say this about Tommaso Ciampa, and I do feel really bad for him because I just feel bad. His tweet after relinquishing the title really was sad, like legitimately sad. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Tommaso Ciampa is very, very good, and him and Johnny Gargano together are really, really good. But Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole, ain't nobody in that company at any tier that can hang with that.
So that's high on the list of what I'm looking for.
Oh my God, it's more of the same.
Shocking that it's a takeover match.
Always, it's always takeover, and I don't mean takeover versus WrestleMania. I myself mean takeover of the 3. I'm looking very forward to the Super Show, but dude, holy crap! And I keep talking about Walter and Pete Dunne because I can't wait for that one. But yeah, dude, that main event, that's going to be absolutely out of this world, man.
Can't wait.
Out of this world. I'm with you. I absolutely can't wait.
So, getting the feelings that
the juices are flowing.
starting to actually look forward to this stuff I said I wasn't looking forward to.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's a lot of people feeling that way.
Yeah, man. We get talking about NXT. It doesn't take long to get excited about it. That's the best. That's still my favorite of all the stuff that I watch now. I love New Japan too, man. New Japan it seems to me that Access has sped up their turnover. I might be wrong about that, but it seems like, New Japan Cup just ended yesterday, and then last Friday, a couple of days ago now, they were running the beginning of it, and it's like it seems to me that their turnovers gotten a lot quicker, which is nice. That's super cool. I mean, I don't mind because all I can do is stay on social media, but I don't. Spoiler stuff doesn't bother me, man, because wins and losses are very fun and exciting. But if I read it, it's like the old magazines. If I read it, that's okay. Then let's see how it happened. That's still fun. It's one of the cool things about pro wrestling being like
something you can watch.
For real, it's performance art presented as sport. Whereas sport, once you know the score, I don't mind watching sports if I know the score, because especially if it's Atlanta United, because holy crap, how they play, it's totally different. It's the reason that the guys go out last week and draw 1-1 at home, and the sky is falling, belly aching that was just plaguing the team during the Champions League run. You didn't hear it. And there's a reason you didn't hear it. It's because they look like Atlanta United again. They got one goal, and it's a bummer. You'd of course love to score more. You'd love to win, but dude, it's like it's positive. They're flowing again. It's just, it's looking more like it can come together. And I'm very happy because I killed the Atlanta fan base more often than I should, but I'm really, really happy that I'm happy that's their attitude. It's like, oh, we look like us again. That's cool. No splitting hairs or getting belly achy over, oh, we got a point. I heard none of that. Everybody's like super excited. And I'm like, well, good for y'all. That's awesome that you, I'm glad they see it that way, because some fan bases don't.
Getting over the championship hangover. It's like, don't worry, it's going to be fine.
People talk about that junk all the time. And also, I think there's actually, and I do not resemble this remark at all, and I probably should. I think that other people have it. I think I've got it wrong and other people have it right. People do not care about the Champions League. I do. I love it myself. But I understand. It's like, no, we can focus on the league now. Like, okay, then. It makes sense. Like, I would not look at it that way, but when I hear other people explain it, it's like, look, man, it's just this preliminary thing. It's our preseason. Come on, why does it matter? I'm like, well, okay, that's cool, man. That's cool. But I, for one, am very happy that Kansas City is still in. Hopefully they can roll on and do the league proud. Yeah. Anyway, all that junk is crazy, but it's been nutty. Atlanta sports have been great, man, as far as that was awesome. The freaking Hawks and the Sixers the other day, man, that was absolutely incredible. What a good game, man. It's one of those things where I hope that, and I don't think it was broadcast nationally anywhere, but I promise you, everybody got to watch it. Atlanta and Philly and whoever's got the ticket, man, they're glad they signed it. It was awesome. And Trey, I felt so bad for Trey earlier this year. I think it was the Bulls. He hit what should have been the game winner. And then we had to go to like 9 overtimes in that game. It was a bummer. By God, his one against Philly was the game winner. That was awesome. That was just super impressive. And then this is in Atlanta, but Duke UCF today, man. That's one. If it's on your DVR and you hear the score, watch it anyway. Yeah, man.
Good play. You'll have a good time.
You have yourself a good time. Unbelievable, man.
Heck yeah.
That's how we do, man. I think there was something else, but I'm a dummy. Oh, I know one thing. I meant to mention it last week in the review for Captain Marvel, and I can't believe I forgot it. But it's the scene, I'm pretty sure it's at the beginning when she's getting off the Skrull ship. And she jumps in the little thing. Man, there's a scene where it's like full on doing the thing. And out the windows, you just get this like whippy effect of basically it's shooting out of the tube. I swear to God, it looks like test footage from Voltron. It's exactly what it looked like. That's a tribute, I should say. It's a tribute to Voltron. It was awesome. I knew there was something like really, because I got a little bit, oh man, the 90s nostalgia stuff, and they hit it a little bit too hard, and boohoo and all that stuff. But then the 80s nostalgia thing I loved, so I'm like, well, I am completely contradictory, jerk. But as soon as I saw it, it was like, that's radical.
Make that movie happen. It has to happen one day.
Yeah, man, Voltron the movie and Voltron action figures where the lions do not transform. Yeah. I just want vehicle-sized lions. I don't care if it turns into the robot, man, because then if you're not concerned about it transforming, what can't you do?
Now we can make it look accurate.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
imagine that.
Totally, man. It's like this sky is the limit. Love it.
I still love my McFarlane stuff. I don't care what y'all say.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
That's what's up.
Take it easy,
Bye.